we discussed about the topic of application gateway. We completed that also, and we also started to discuss about the app service. So we will start and we will continue with that particular topic itself. So let me just open the word. So far in the load balancing solutions, we have discussed about Azure Load Balancer. Then we have discussed about application gateway. So these two topics have been completed in the load balancing series. Now in the last weekend on Sunday, we started one of the topic called app service. So you can call it app service, you can call it web app services, both are fine. So we will see the practical part of it. So as we discussed last time, app service is one of the platform as a service in Azure, which will give you the flexibility to get the platform to run your codes. You can run your codes over here. Let's say you have any application code, you have any uh, web application code, or you have any website code, and you want to run it on the Azure platform. You want to do some testing, or you want to run it in the production environment. Let's suppose you have a live code of the application and you want to run it in the production environment, or you want to perform some testing with that code, whether it is working or not. So you can use the app service. Otherwise, you will have to set up the IIS server, but IIS server is an infrastructure as a service. So if we will go with that service, so the manageability will be with us. Like we have to manage the virtual machines, we have to manage the operating systems, we have to manage the configuration of IIS and everything. But if we are going with the app service, we don't have to worry about any management of servers, any operating system, or any service. We are just responsible for our web application or our code. So you can run your codes in the production environment, or developers can also use it for the testing purpose. You can directly run your websites if you have the code, or you can run your web applications also. So instead of infrastructure as a service, if company does not want to take the headache to manage the underlying operating system, VM, and the service of IIS, then they can completely go with the app service option. So earlier, the app service option was known as web app service, but the name has been renamed now, and now we call it app service. So let's see the practical part of it so that you can understand more. So we discussed a lot of theoretical concept regarding this topic, like it can support multiple languages. If you go to the official page of app service, so you will see it supports a lot of languages. So why use Azure service? So I told you it supports multiple languages and framework like ASP.NET, then Core Java, Node.js, Python, PHP. So multiple languages are supported here. You can connect it with the DevOps. You can perform the automation. You can connect it with the Docker. You can use it in the production environment. Scalability option is available. Let's suppose there is a load on the website or any application, so automatically it can increase the number of copies, or it can increase the configuration of the backend server also. So you don't have to worry about manual management. Uh, everything is available for automation. You can set up the automation things. You can connect it with any other SaaS platform application, and even in the on-premises also. Let's suppose your database is running in the on-prem and you want to connect it with the Azure App Service, so you can also do that. This service is available. Security options are very good. Authentications are supported using Azure Active Directory, using Google, Facebook, or any other third-party option. So it has a lot of advantages to use with. Now let's see the practical part of it for further understanding. So what I will do, I will just log in into my Azure portal first. Okay. So now we are in the portal. What we can do? So in order to use the app services, you will have to create the platform first. You don't have to create any server. You don't have to create any IIS rule over here. You can simply go to the portal, and from here you can search for the app service. So just go and search for the app services. Just a second. Yeah. So simply go for this service, app services. Click on this. Right now you can see there is no app service available, and you can see the languages support which is available with the app service. So your code can be in any language. It can be in .NET, it can be in Java, it can be in PHP, Python, whatever. The app service is going to support all the categories, all the languages, codes. So it has multiple framework facility available. You can simply click on create button. Once you click on create, so you get four options here. The first option is to create a web app. Web app means your app service. So both names are okay. Second option is static web app. Third one is your database. So if you go with the first option, web app, it will give you all the options related to these bottom three options. Like all these three options are available with the web app. So if you want to utilize all the services, you can go with the web app option, and you will get all these three functionalities as well. If you specifically want to connect your application with the database, let's suppose you have your code running in the server. For example, you have a code in the server, but the backend is connected with the database. For example, SQL. Generally, what happens if you go to any online shopping site, and when you do the shopping, for example, let's suppose you go to flipkart.com. So when you go to flipkart.com, and if you search for something, when you do the online shopping, so whatever we search, for example, let's suppose we search for any television. So when we search something, the user who is searching, that request will go to that particular flipkart.com server. Then the user is able to get the Flipkart page. Now when the user will initiate the keyword to search something, let's suppose this user wants to search for the television, then this input will go to the Flipkart server, but Flipkart server does not have the data related to the television, because it only has the code related to the website. So what Flipkart will do, Flipkart will be connected with a backend database. There will be a backend database server. Database server will have all the data. So whatever data we need, it will be there with the database server. So database server can be SQL, MySQL, MariaDB, MongoDB. So these kind of databases will be there. Postgre is also one of the example. So different companies have different databases. Generally, the company have SQL database. You can also call it SQL. So all the results will be available here. When the user is searching for the TB, so request will go to the Flipkart server, but Flipkart server will send that request to the connected database, and from the database it will get the report. डेटाबेस से इसको रिपोर्ट मिलेगी, and then the user would be able to pick the details. So this is how the setup is there. So if you want to connect your web app with the database, you can go with this option. Even this option is also available here as well, but during the deployment, let's suppose during the deployment phase, if you want to connect your web app with the database, then you can choose this option. Then there is one more option, WordPress on app service. So WordPress on app service basically means there are some small companies where the development team is not there. In order to create any web application or website, we need the web developers in the company. We need to pay them the salary. They will do the coding for us, and whatever site we need, they will create it accordingly. So they know the languages. They know, some knows PHP, someone will know .NET, someone will know the Python, someone will do the coding using simple HTML. So developer knows the coding. Now there are some small companies who says that we don't want to set up the team of web developers, or we don't have the budget for that. Budget नहीं है उनके पास. So what that kind of company does, they will use one of the portal called WordPress. So WordPress is one of the portal. You can just go to the browser and you can search about it. So there is a WordPress. Uh, there are another sites also which is similar to the WordPress like Wix is there, then Namecheap is there. So we have a lot of sites nowadays. So you can go to the WordPress.com. So this is the site. Here, what they do. So here you can create your login ID, and you can integrate it with your Gmail account. The free accounts can be created. If the company wants to use it, so they need to purchase the paid plan for this. But for the normal users like you, if you want to do some testing, so you can create a free account in the trial and you can use it. Account is valid for lifetime, but you will not get much options in the free account. But when you go with the paid option, so you will get a lot of community features and enterprise options. So in the small companies, you will see the WordPress will be there. And using the WordPress, what we can do, if we don't know the coding, अगर हमें coding नहीं आती, so what specifically we can do, it has a lot of templates facility. मतलब इसमें ready-made templates होते हैं, like we want to design a background, we want to design something. So without knowing the code, we can just use those templates and we can create our websites. That is WordPress. So WordPress is also supported on the Azure platform, and some companies are supporting their websites on the WordPress only. Even there are some freelance workers. When you go to them, ask for the website creation, so they will create it on the WordPress platform. So a lot of people who don't know the coding, they can utilize the WordPress.com for the website creation. So that is possible. Now, if any company or if any user is using the WordPress, and you want to connect it with the app service for pulling the codes or for pulling the websites, then you can use the last option. So these all three options are available here. There is one more option, static web app. Static web app means basically it is for the static codes. If we have any static code that cannot be changed, like there is no backend, then we go with this. So it is a developer language like back end, front end. So if we have the code that is not flexible, that is not changeable all the time, then you create the static web app. So if you just have a one page of code where the website is very much static, you don't want to change it, then static web app option is there. Otherwise, the web app option is there, using which we can use all the services. We can run our codes, we can run our websites, we can run our web applications. So we will go with this option so that we can understand more features about it. So I will just click on create, then go to the web app. Now choose the resource group. So I will create a new. And here you need to provide a unique web app name. ये कौन है? शिवा जेता बार बार ये लाइनें चला रहा है. So here you need to provide a unique name. For example, if you will give the name, suppose test, so it will check whether the test is available or not. So it is searching, see, and you can see the test name is not available. So the name must be globally unique. Whatever name you are giving here, it should not be taken by any person in the Azure environment. किसी भी जगह पे Azure के अंदर ये वाला नाम यूज नहीं होना चाहिए. That is why you will get the error. So name should always be unique. For example, if you will give the name, for example, App Store 01, so it will still search for it, and now this name is available. See, so these kind of unique names you have to figure out, and accordingly it is going to work. So I will give the name App Store 01. Now you can see there is something in the URL. So this is a new option which has been given by the Azure. You can make it customizable. Like you can see, this is one of the string value and this is customizable, and this is one of the domain. It is a free domain provided by the Microsoft Azure Websites.net. So your code will be hosted on this particular URL. But in case you want to change this particular URL, so that facility is available. But this is the option which is under the trial, so it is not fully launched yet. अभी पूरा launch नहीं हुआ है. After some time this will be updated, then you would be able to change the name as well. but for now this is under the trial, so we will not use it. We will just keep it off. इसको बंद कर देंगे हम. Now our URL will be appstore01.azurewebsites.net. So whatever code I will run, whatever website I will run, it will be running on this particular URL platform. इस URL के ऊपर मेरी website या मेरा code चल रहा होगा on this. In future, here the locations can also be added, the URLs can be modified, but that is a future thing. So right now option is not available. If you want to use the default one, then you can use it. But if you want to change this, so that option is under trial. So I will just keep it off. Now it is asking from where you would like to publish your code. आपका कोड है कहाँ पे, मतलब जो आप इसके ऊपर एप्लीकेशन चलाओगे या वेबसाइट चलाओगे. So whatever application or website you want to run, where is your code, how will you publish, मतलब इसके ऊपर चलाओगे कैसे. This is going to create a platform with the name of App Store 01. That is a platform. For example, it is a IIS server. You can just assume that this is one of the IIS server. Now on this IIS server, you will have to run your code. You will have to run your websites. So it is asking where is the code, where is the website, how will you publish that onto this platform. So we have two options. The first option is code, second option is container. Container basically means the Docker. So there is a microservice architecture in the development. We can create some lightweight machines, and on the lightweight machines we can run the code and we can connect it with the web app. So for example, Docker is one of the microservice architecture where we can run the code and we can launch it. So it's like a lightweight servers. For example, I will just give you one example here. Every one of you knows about Netflix. So Netflix is one of the OTT platform, and nowadays what happens in the programming? In the programming, we follow the microservice architecture. What is microservice? So Netflix is one of the final application, but in order to develop the Netflix, the developer has written a lot of codes. इस Netflix को बनाने के लिए developer ने बहुत सारी coding करी थी. That is why we have the Netflix. Now we have a lot of programming languages to code. We have Java, we have PHP, .NET, Python, Ruby, Golang. We have a lot of languages available. Nowadays, what happens in the modern programming language, we follow the microservice architecture. In the microservice, what happens? Whenever the developer is writing the code, developer is free to choose the language as per the requirement. If this developer wants to do the coding in the Java regarding Netflix, he can do that. If this developer wants to use .NET for writing some feature, he can also use it. So we can compile it finally, means this code is written in Java, this code is written in .NET language. We can compile it. But the thing is, different platform languages cannot be compiled. मतलब आप उनको आपस में integrate नहीं कर सकते. They will not be able to understand each other because this is in Java, this is in .NET. So how will you connect them together? It will not work. So what happens nowadays? There is a microservice architecture. Using the microservice, what we do? We don't have to integrate these two codes together. हमें इन दोनों codes को आपस में connect करने की जरूरत है ही नहीं. We don't have to do that. What we can do, this code can be run separately on a lightweight machine which is called Docker. Docker करके application आती है. So on the Docker we can run this code as a lightweight machine, and on another Docker we can run this .NET code, and we don't have to connect them together. This code will work separately, this code will work separately. So we can utilize the strength of every programming language. Every programming language has some strength. Java is very good in the trigger based application. .NET is very good in the interfaces, in the graphics. So if we have to give the very good graphic in the application, we will use the .NET. If we have to use any triggers in the application, we use the Java language. So developers can now utilize the strength of the language. That is microservice architecture. So अगर मेरा code Docker में है, then we can use this option. We can just use the container option. Docker is basically known as container. In earlier days, what used to happen? The developer was not free to choose the preferred programming language. if we have to create the Netflix application, so we have to follow the same language for writing the entire Netflix. पूरे नेटफ्लिक्स को लिखने के लिए एक ही लैंग्वेज हमें फाइनल करनी पड़ेगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई चूज जावा, सो आई विल हैव टू डेवलप द एंटायर नेटफ्लिक्स इन द जावा लैंग्वेज. एंड आई टोल्ड यू एवरी लैंग्वेज हैज सम advantages, some strength. So if I want to use the heavy graphics, which is not available in the Java, then still I don't have any choice, because for another options I may have to use the Java. But if the graphic option is available heavily with the .NET language, I cannot use it earlier. पहले के दिनों में नहीं कर सकता था. So पहले के दिनों में all the developer used to write the code in a single language. Finally, they used to compile it. Compile means integrate. They will have to connect all the codes together to create a final version of the application. That is called compile. And after the compile is completed, then we need to run that code in one server. Then we have to create one server, and that server used to be very heavy. That architecture used to called monolithic. Usko bolte the monolithic. So in the monolithic architecture, we were dependent on one programming language. We had to compile it, and the server used to be very heavy. बड़े बड़े servers होते थे. And for example, suppose there is an application called Flipkart.com. This is a web application, right? So in the Flipkart.com, someone is doing the shopping. किसी ने shopping करी, and that person is in the payment gateway. मतलब वो cart पे जाके he is doing the payment. He wants to purchase something. So when the person is doing the payment, he will connect with the Flipkart gateway service, right? He will go with the payment gateway service. And that payment gateway service might be busy with another users also, because at the same time in the entire world, a lot of people are doing the payment on the Flipkart.com site. So it might be busy. ये busy होगा, हो सकता है ये वाला code busy है. This code can be busy, and this user will also come. It will also become heavy stressed, but still the payment happens. Payments are happening. Why it is happening? Because of the microservices architecture. In the microservices architecture, what happens? Whenever there is a load on one piece of code, we can set up the scaling. Automatically, the environment will create multiple copies of that particular code. And for example, if this payment gateway is very much busy, I want to give much CPU to this particular payment gateway. For example, my Flipkart application is using 128 GB of RAM. Suppose it is using 128 GB of RAM and 16 cores of CPU. Now there is a heavy load on my payment gateway. I want to give 4 more cores of CPU from this 16 to this payment gateway. So that is possible in the microservice architecture. If you are running the applications in the Docker, if you are managing it, then it is possible. So nowadays it is possible. Earlier it was not possible. If I open the paint, so we have the paint in the window. If specifically I want to give the more compute to this pencil, मुझे इस pencil को ज़्यादा CPU देना है. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. If there is a load on this pencil, on this paint, I want to give a lot of CPU. I want to give more CPU and more RAM to this pencil only. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. Why? Because this complete application is written in the monolithic architecture, where the developer has written the code, he has compiled it, and now it is running as a single binary. But nowadays, this pencil code is written in a separate language. This eraser code is written in a separate language. These color bars are written in a separate language, and we have not compiled it. For example, this is written, suppose, in .NET. This one is written in Java. Just take the example. This one is written in the PHP, for example. So we have not compiled it because it is not possible. The languages are different. We have run these codes in the separate Docker servers. Pencil is running in a separate Docker. Eraser is running in a separate Docker. Color bars are running in a separate Docker. That is the Docker concept. So that is called microservice container. And in order to manage a lot of Dockers, we have Kubernetes in the company, K8s. In order to manage multiple Docker, We have the Kubernetes in the company. So this is how the thing works. So developer का topic था ये फिलहाल, but I just give you the overview to understand the container services. So if the code is available in the Docker machine, then we choose the container option. अगर code Docker में है तो then we will go with the container. If it is not in the Docker, if we have the code as a developer, मेरे पास code है, I will simply choose the code option. अगर मैं डायरेक्टली कोड अपलोड करूंगा, इफ आई विल डायरेक्टली अपलोड द कोड, आई विल चूज द कोड ऑप्शन. इफ माई कोड इज अवेलेबल separately in the Docker machine, then I will choose the container option. That's it. So you don't have to worry in the company. The code will be with the developer. So whenever he needs the app service, he will just raise a ticket that I need an app service for my platform. It can be for testing, it can be for production. So he will raise a ticket and he will specifically mention the publishing method. वो mention करके देगा that please choose the publishing method as code or please choose it as container. So you have to choose it accordingly. Code will be uploaded by the developer only. You will not do that. That's not your responsibility. But yes, if there is some issue, like if the site is not accessible, there is some issue in the site, then the troubleshooting, the first level troubleshooting will come to you as well. Pooja wants to ask something. Yes, Pooja?
हेलो
Yes.
सर, एक दिन में मतलब जैसे कि यहाँ पे हमें बहुत सारे टिकट्स आती है, तो अप्रोक्सीमेट कितने टिकट्स आ सकते हैं एज अ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, क्लाउड एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, हमें कितनी हैंडल करनी होती है?
डिपेंड करता है किस लेवल की कंपनी है.
खोज बताए राम से चल के राम पे आए.
इस टाइप का बिजनेस है. लाइक मतलब होता ऐसा है कि एज्योर में ना अलग अलग लेवल के सपोर्ट्स होते हैं. इफ यू आर सपोर्टिंग मल्टीपल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, सो टिकट काउंट कैन बी मोर इन द सेंस वो दो तीन हो जाएंगे या एक दो हो जाएंगे एक दिन में. इफ इट इज ए प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, वहाँ पे तो 2-3 दिन में एक टिकट आती है. बड़ी बड़ी सर्विस बेस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तो टिकट काउंट कैन बी 2. अगेन इफ इट इज बिग साइज कंपनी, it not count. It is a big company. They will because we have 5 cloud admins in the team, and if we get 10 tickets in a day, so 10 will be divided among 5 engineers. And in the product based companies, the ticket count will be less because uh, like they corely focus on what one particular product. So if there is any troubleshooting, then the ticket will come, or if there is any deployment task, then the ticket will come. And they don't support multiple companies, so that is why the ticket count will be less. But in the service based organization, for example TCS, HCL, so they have the support for another companies. They are maintaining the infrastructure of another companies. For example, if you work with, for example, if you work with HCL, so HCL is giving the support to Fidelity International. They are managing their cloud infrastructure. So now, if something goes with the Fidelity International, then you will be responsible. Then the ticket will come to you. If you are only managing one client, then the Fidelity International will be your responsibility. If you are on very senior grade, you are handling multiple clients. For example, Wipro is giving support to Fidelity also. Wipro is giving support to PwC also. For example, it is giving support to any XYZ company also. So these three companies will come into your account if you are very senior person, if you are getting very good salary. So from there, the ticket count can be 3 or 4 in a day. But generally for one organization, it can be 1, 2, or 3 ticket in a day. And for product-based companies, it can be 1 ticket or 2 ticket in every 2 or 3 days. So in 1 week, it can be 5 to 6 tickets
पर टेक्नीशियन?
per technician. Yes.
ओके। और सर, जो और एक बात, जैसे कि अभी जैसा कि हमारा वर्कलोड रहता है हमारे अभी की प्रोफाइल में, तो क्लाउड में मूव करने के बाद कैसा रहेगा? लाइक मतलब ऐसे ही जैसे हेक्टिक रहेगा या फिर नॉर्मल रहेगा? मतलब कैसे, लाइक अगर डिफाइन करना हो तो कैसे करेंगे?
डिपेंड करता है वो भी किस कंपनी में चले गए हो. इफ इट इज स्टार्टअप देन वर्कलोड इज गोइंग टू बी हाई. इफ इट इज एस्टेब्लिश ऑर्गेनाइजेशन देन हफ्ते में मतलब 7-8 टिकट आती है हार्डली. So workload is manageable. But again, if you are on a high salary bracket, matlab if you are earning more than 20 LPA, if you are in the scale of 30-40 lakh per annum, then the workload is going to be too hectic. Like too hectic in the sense you will have to be in the shift for the complete 8 to 9 hours, even more than that also sometime. There will be the ticket count will be less but task will be more, because at the senior positions like where I am working on right now, so we generally work on the task more. We don't work on tickets are there, but we get the ticket if our juniors are unable to solve it. So L1, L2 and L3 engineers are able to take care of the ticket. On the above levels there will be tasks like you will get the migration projects, you will be getting some security compliance projects, so you will have to work on that. And every task has a deadline in the sense you have to complete it within 3 months, you have to complete it within 20 days, depending upon the length and intensity of that particular task. So accordingly you will be giving your full time, like there will be meetings, there will be a lot of discussions, there will be projects, there will be issues during the deployment. So that is one of the great learning experience. And according to the salary, yes, there will be pressure, but not in every organization. Again, it depends in which business you are working on. There are companies where there is a lot of work life balance plus flexibility, even though there is a work, but they don't stretch it more. So it depends in which company you are. But वो डेस्कटॉप और सर्विस डेस्क वाला वर्कलोड नहीं होता. It's not like you are continuously getting the ticket, the rapid fire tickets and tickets only. No, this does not happen. ऐसा नहीं होता. वो सिर्फ सपोर्ट में होता है. Why it happens in the support? Because in support there are end users. So end users, like if they are facing the hanging issue, they will raise the ticket. If they are unable to access the google.com, so they will raise the ticket on the spot. If they are unable to right click, they will just raise the ticket. So unnecessary there is a flow of the ticket in the end user profile. But when it comes to the specialization domains like server, cloud, networking, so here the ticket will only come when there is a real issue in the infrastructure. And who will raise the ticket? They are also technical people. For example, if any developer is saying that I am not able to take the remote of the server, so developer is also technical. It means he has done his due diligence, and after that he is not able to fix it, then the ticket will come to you. So ticket count will be less in the infrastructure. Yes, in networking, if you are in the networking field, ticket count is very high. But if you are in the server and cloud, so if your infrastructure is fully optimized, if it is good, there is patching, there is full security, then the ticket count will be less. तब टिकट कम आएगी. ये कौन है भाई MOH लिखने वाला? मोहन.
Yes, sir, doubt.
Okay.
Yes.
So it depends upon business to business in which business you are. Like I have worked in the company where there used to be a lot of pressure, hell lot of pressure, I would say. And I have worked with the company where in the shift of 8 to 9 hours, the people are only working for 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours in a day. This also happens. So it depends.
सर इस प्रोफाइल में वर्क फ्रॉम होम मिलने का चांस रहता है क्या?
हाँ, इसमें मिल जाती है क्लाउड में, डेवऑप्स में, मतलब वर्क फ्रॉम होम मिल जाती है, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ रिमोट काइंड ऑफ जॉब. वी हैव टू वर्क ऑन द पोर्टल. सो यस, it is possible. I also do work from home. I don't go to office. So it is
यस सर,
possible.
एक्चुअली अभी जिस प्रोफाइल में है हम लोग उसमें सर वर्क फ्रॉम होम का मतलब स्ट्रिक्टली मना कर देते हैं ये लोग.
हाँ, उसमें तो वहीं पे चाहिए ना, एंड यूजर सपोर्ट है. बट इसमें क्लाउड में मिल जाती है. जनरली इट इज पॉसिबल. इट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल टू गेट द जनरल शिफ्ट एज वेल। तो मिल जाता है, मतलब है बहुत सारी ओपनिंग्स। सो इट डिपेंड्स, मिल भी जाता है। कुछ कुछ कंपनी, वो भी कंपनी पे डिपेंड करता है, इफ दे आर ऑफरिंग वर्क फ्रॉम होम और नॉट। लाइक टीसीएस, they are not giving the work from home nowadays. HCL is also calling the people to office nowadays. So उनका जब मन करेगा वो खींच भी सकते हैं वर्क फ्रॉम होम। सो इट टोटली डिपेंड्स अपॉन कंपनी, बट यस मिल जाती है। वर्क फ्रॉम होम्स आर पॉसिबल, इवन द डे शिफ्ट्स, जनरल शिफ्ट्स, दैट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल। ईमिया शिफ्ट्स भी पॉसिबल है, आफ्टरनून वाली जो होती है। सो एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल, लाइक मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स आर पॉसिबल इन दिस
सर,
पर्टिकुलर फील्ड।
नाइट शिफ्ट भी रहती है क्या सर?
डिपेंड, वो पहले आप पता कर लेना इंटरव्यू के टाइम में कि कौन सी शिफ्ट, कौन सा प्रोसेस होगा। ठीक है,
ओके सर।
डिपेंड करता है। आई हैव डन सम नाइट शिफ्ट्स ऑल्सो इन द इनिशियल स्टेज, बट अभी नहीं करता मैं। आई एम इन द जनरल शिफ्ट नाउ इट इज। So let's focus on this one now. So see, you have to choose the option as per the ticket. The developer will totally mention whether the code is available or the code is there in the container. Accordingly, you have to choose it. For example, I will publish the code directly onto this web app platform. मैं directly code publish करूँगा, so I will choose the code option. If the code is there in Docker, then I will choose this option. That's it. So बहुत easy सा है. Now you have to choose the runtime stack. Runtime stack means platform language. In which language you have done the coding? In which language the code is available? आपका कोड किस लैंग्वेज में है, किस लैंग्वेज में कोडिंग करी गई है? So that is called your runtime stack, your runtime platform. So if you choose the drop down, you will see a lot of languages like .NET, Java, then Node.js, then PHP, Python. So there are languages, and these all languages are supported in the app service of Azure. So whatever is the language platform, you have to choose it accordingly. It will also be there in the ticket. Developer will mention that I needed .NET runtime stack, and he will also mention the version. There are versions. Every code is written on a particular platform of the language, and every platform has a version. So the latest one is .NET 9 STS in the .NET. In the Java, it is Java 21. In the Node, it is Node 22 LTS. LTS means long-term support. So accordingly, you have to choose it. In the Python, it is 3.13. Suppose my code is in the language of .NET, and my developer has posted that he need .NET 8 LTS. So I will just choose it like this. Then after choosing the language, and one more thing, this language platform can be changed later on as well. If you want to change it, this is changeable. If you want to upgrade the version, that is also possible. If you want to switch it to, if you want to switch from .NET to Java, that is also possible. So this is doable. Now, you have to choose the underlying operating system also. Operating system means, as I told you, you are not responsible for any VM creation. You are not responsible for the OS installation, and you are not responsible for the IIS installation. This complete package will be provided in the app service by the Microsoft. आपको एक पूरा प्लेटफॉर्म इन पूरे पैकेज के साथ मिल जाएगा. So it is asking that which operating system platform you need on your ready-made server. मतलब आपको जो प्लेटफॉर्म मिल रहा है, which platform of operating system you want to use? Do you want to use Windows or you want to use the Linux? मतलब आपको जो कोड चलाना है, do you want to run it on Linux or do you want to run it on Windows? Accordingly, we can choose it. Now, why we should select it? What is the reason? So the reason actually is Windows is going to be expensive if I will choose it as a platform as compared to the Linux. So if anyone wants to save the cost, they can go with the Linux. And if anyone wants to use the interface feature of Microsoft, then they can go with the Windows. Now, there is another limitation also. Another limitation is there are some languages which is specific to the OS. For example, if I choose the .NET language, so it can run on Linux as well, it can run on Windows as well. If I choose the Java language, any Java version, it can run on Linux, it can run on Windows. If I choose, for example, Node.js, it only supports Linux. It does not work on Windows platform. So if If my code is written in the Node language, then definitely I will have to go with the Linux platform. I cannot choose the window as a platform. So that is a language dependency. If I go with the PHP, any version, it also supports the Linux. PHP does not work on Windows. And if I, let's suppose, go with the Python, so Python also works on the Linux. And that is why you might have seen that most of the developer uses the Linux. बहुत सारे डेवलपर कंपनी में Linux पे ही काम करते हैं. They do the coding on the Linux. उनके जो कोडिंग सर्वर्स होते हैं that is mostly on the Linux. So जब वो कोड लिख रहे होते हैं, if they are doing Python coding, if they are doing PHP coding, so they will be using the Linux. इसलिए because most of the language supports are basically with the Linux. बाकी Windows दोनों के साथ चल जाएगा. For example, if you have the .NET, then it can support Linux and Windows. And .NET is the language of Microsoft only. .NET Microsoft की ही language है, and it also works on the Linux. So it depends which language the developer is using for the code. Accordingly, we have to choose the OS. And sometimes it also depends on the cost. If I want to use the .NET but I want to save the cost, I will go with the Linux. क्योंकि Linux में बहुत सारी चीजें फ्री की मिल जाएगी. But if any company is strict, if they want to use the license only, they will go with the Windows. So ये सब उनका decision है, how they are going to tackle it. Now suppose my code is written in .NET 8 LTS, so I will choose this one. Platform, suppose I will choose Windows. Now you have to choose the region. In which region you want to create the web app. So for example, I want to create it in the UK South. I will choose UK South. After that, there is a pricing plan. What is pricing plan? Rakesh wants to ask something. Yes, Rakesh.
सर डेवलपर जो कोड लिखेगा उसके लिए है क्या, जैसे लाइनक्स और विंडोज, या फिर ये वेबसाइट वर्क करेगी इन पे?
ये वेबसाइट इनके ऊपर चलेगी, इन प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे. मतलब जो कोड उसने बना दिया है ना, वो कोड इसके ऊपर चलेगा. तो ये सर्वर है एक तरीके से, विंडो सर्वर बैकएंड में, लाइनक्स सर्वर, उसके ऊपर आपकी वेबसाइट चल रही है.
अच्छा सर्वर है, ओके ओके समझ गया।
जैसे हम IIS बनाते हैं तो विंडो पे बनता है ना, उसके ऊपर हमारी वेबसाइट चल रही होती है. तो ये वही सर्वर है कि तुमने कोई कोडिंग करी .NET लैंग्वेज में, अब उस कोड को तुम्हें रन करना है एज ए वेबसाइट, तो विंडो पे करोगे या लाइनक्स पे करोगे, तो वो तुम चूज करोगे. अब कुछ लैंग्वेज का प्लेटफॉर्म होता है, लाइक मैंने बताया, जैसे पाइथन चूज करोगे तो पाइथन विंडो पे चलेगा ही नहीं. सो वी नीड द लाइनक्स ओनली, तब वहाँ पे लाइनक्स ही रहेगा. क्लियर?
यस यस सर।
वैसे पाइथन विंडो पे चल जाता है आज की डेट में, सारी लैंग्वेज चल जाती है. उसके लिए फिर हमें अलग से रन टाइम एप्लीकेशंस चाहिए होती है. जैसे विजुअल स्टूडियो कोड के बारे में सुना होगा बहुत से लोगों ने. सो वेयर वी कैन गो, वी कैन डाउनलोड द एक्सटेंशंस ऑफ द पाइथन एंड वी कैन यूज इट. तो कर सकते हैं आज की डेट में. बट येस, पाइथन इज वेरी मच गुड टू वर्क विद द लिनक्स. तो पाइथन लाइनक्स के साथ अच्छे से काम कर लेता है, विंडो के साथ भी काम कर लेता है, लेकिन उसके लिए फिर हमें एक्सटेंशंस, प्लगइन्स, ये सब इंस्टॉल करना पड़ेगा. सो दैट इज वाई लाइनक्स में जाओगे तो बाय डिफॉल्ट मिल जाएगा फिर वो. इफ वी गो विद द PHP तो बाय डिफॉल्ट वो सारे प्लगइन्स लाइनक्स में मिलते हैं, बट इन विंडो यू हैव टू इंस्टॉल इट मैनुअली. तो हो जाता है आजकल. तो ये बैकएंड सर्वर्स है. व्हाट इज द बैकएंड सर्वर प्लेटफॉर्म वेयर वी कैन रन इट. यस पूजा.
सर जो आप बोल रहे हो कि हम इसमें है ना एक पर्टिकुलर जो है कोडिंग के लिए लैंग्वेज सिलेक्ट करते हैं, तो बाद में जो डेवलपर इस पे कोडिंग करेगा तो वो उसी पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज में कर सकता है या फिर किसी भी लैंग्वेज में कर सकता है?
नहीं, जो हमने रन टाइम चूज किया है वो उसी में करेगा. अगर उसने डिसाइड कर रखा है, उसने मान लो .NET पे कोई कोडिंग करके रखी हुई है, और इस पे कोडिंग नहीं करता वो एक्चुअली, इस पे वो कोड को रन करता है, मतलब एज ए एप्लीकेशन रन करेगा वो. तो कोड पहले से ही किया होगा, ही विल जस्ट रन इट एज ए प्लेटफॉर्म. जैसे IIS में मैंने वेबसाइट लॉन्च करी थी, तो मेरे पास कोड होना चाहिए उसका, देन आई विल कीप इट इन द IIS सर्वर, देन इट विल बी फंक्शनल. तो ये वो प्लेटफॉर्म है, कोडिंग इसके ऊपर नहीं होती. कोडिंग के लिए तो अलग से प्लेटफॉर्म चाहिए फिर.
यस सर, मैं वही पूछ रही हूँ, जैसे हमने यहाँ पे .NET सिलेक्ट किया तो फिर वो जो है डेवलपर यूज करेगा वो
वो
.NET
.NET ही
वाला
करेगा.
यूज?
हाँ,
ओके ओके सर, ओके।
वो .NET पे ही करेगा. यस पूजा, एक और पूजा का हैंड रेज है.
सर लेकिन हमें कौन सा लैंग्वेज चूज करना है वो तो हमें डेवलपर टिकट में ही बताएगा ना?
वो टिकट पे रहेगा. ठीक है.
यस सर।
Okay. So here, after choosing the location, there is a pricing plan. Now, what is this pricing plan? Pricing plan basically means what kind of hardware configuration you need in the backend. As we know, in the app service we are getting a ready-made platform, right? यहाँ पे हमें ready-made platform मिल रहा है ना अपनी वेबसाइट्स या अपने एप्लीकेशंस को रन करने का. सो रेडीमेड प्लेटफॉर्म तो हमें मिल रहा है, दैट इज कॉल्ड पैस, प्लेटफॉर्म एज ए सर्विस. For us, it is PaaS, but in the backend, in reality, there is a server at the Microsoft data center. वहाँ पे तो सर्वर चल रहा है ना. And every application, every website has a configuration limit. उसकी एक requirement होती है. Every application, every website has a configuration requirement. For example, we have a code, we have an application, and that application requires 8 GB of RAM and 3 cores of CPU. For example, that is a minimum requirement. So it means the server where I am going to run this application, where I am going to run this code, it also has this configuration available. Otherwise, I cannot run that code. So every application, every code has a configuration requirement in the backend. And accordingly, we can run our code over there. So it is asking that what kind of hardware you need. आपको किस टाइप का हार्डवेयर चाहिए? Like in the backend, what type of facility you need, what kind of hardware limit you need to run your code. So that is called pricing plan here, because we are not managing any server in the app service. It is a platform as a service. So we are not responsible for any VM management. Microsoft will take care of the VM, but they will take the charge to manage the VM in the backend. क्योंकि VM वो manage कर रहे हैं ना आपका. You as a company is not responsible for managing the VM in the app service. You are not managing any operating system also. So they are managing your operating system. They are managing your server platform as well. So for that they will charge you. पैसा लेंगे आपसे. That is why the app service is costly as compared to the infrastructure as a service of IIS. क्योंकि वहां पे सब कुछ आप मैनेज कर रहे हो, so it is less in terms of the cost. But if you compare it with the app service platform, so app service is expensive. But यहाँ पे मैनेजेबिलिटी का काम फिर हमारा बच जाता है, so इतनी भी ज्यादा एक्सपेंसिव नहीं है. But yes, it is expensive than the normal VM management. So it is asking what kind of configuration you need and what plan. We call it plan here. What will be your plan? So if you have chosen the Windows as the operating system on the server, it will show you the window plan in the region UK South. If you have chosen Linux, then it will show you the Linux plan. So both the plans have different prices. As I told you, Linux have different price, Windows have different price. If I go with the Windows, let it load the region. So it will load my UK South region now. And here there will be some plans. If you click on the drop down, so there is nothing right now because we don't have any plan. So you have to first create a plan. If you will not give any name, it will create a new name like this. It will just use ASP hyphen the pop means the name of resource group, then there will be some random letters. ASP basically means app service plan. So if you want to change this name, you have to give the name, and if you want to change this name, you can. So let me first change the region UK South. Then I will create a new plan. I don't want to go with the default name. I will just click on create new, and I will give the name ASP-01. Then okay. So it will create a new plan with the name of ASP-01. If you already have the plan, you can just select it from the drop down. मतलब आपके पास पहले से platform है, you want to use the same platform, so you can just choose it from the drop down. वो मैं बाद में दिखाऊंगा. Then there are some pricing plans. Depends upon the capacity you have selected. If you go with the drop down, you will see a lot of different plans available. We have free, shared, basic, standard, premium, and isolated. So let me tell you the difference. You should know about this. This is important. We have free, we have shared, basic, even standard is also there, then premium, then isolated. So these are the plans, and accordingly the prices will be different. If you go with the free option, so free option is always free. There is no charges to use the free plan. कोई charges नहीं है, it is free. So if you want to test something, you can utilize the free option. There will be no bill for running the website or code. इसके लिए कोई bill नहीं आएगा. This is free. But there is a limitation. If you go with the free option, you can only host your site for 60 minutes in a day. मतलब आपकी की पूरी जो साइट है, आपका जो कोड है, दैट इज ओनली अवेलेबल फॉर 60 मिनट्स इन ए डे. एक दिन में 60 मतलब 1 घंटे के लिए मिलेगा आपको पूरे 24 घंटे में. It is not available all the time. If you are running any site, it is only accessible for 60 minutes in a day. पूरे दिन में 1 घंटा आप उसको यूज कर पाओगे बस. After the 1 hour is completed, the hosting will be cancelled. Then next day it will again start for 60 minutes in a day. तो 1 घंटे की लिमिट होगी. You will not be able to use the auto scaling features in the free plan. Upgradations are not possible in the free plan, and redundancy is also not possible. जैसे वो था ना अवेलेबिलिटी जोन्स वगैरह, सो दैट ऑप्शंस आर नॉट अवेलेबल विद द फ्री, क्योंकि ये फ्री है. सो इन द फ्री देर आर लिमिट. शेयर्ड इज, it has some cost but not too much. Like it has very light cost, like 10 rupees. So if you run the website for, let's say, 1 or 2 hours in a day, it will charge you 10 or 15 rupees accordingly. But it also does not have any scalability, redundancy, fault tolerance kind of feature. ये सब feature इसमें भी नहीं है. Here what will happen is Microsoft will use a single hardware in the backend, and that single hardware will be shared among multiple companies. मतलब HCL को भी पकड़ा दिया, Wipro को भी दे दिया, अलग अलग TCS को भी दे दिया. So if someone wants to do the testing of something, they can go with the shared plan. And shared plan also have the limitation of 250 minutes in a day, 240 minutes in a day. So इसकी भी limit है. So generally these two kinds of plan are not used in the real scenario. Real scenario में कोई use नहीं करता. This is for the students like us. If someone is in the learning phase, they can go with the free, they can go with the shared. But remember, the high availability, scaling, redundancy, these options are not available with the free and shared plan. Now comes the basic. So basic is used for some lightweight applications. बहुत हल्की फुल्की applications के लिए use होता है. There is no limit of timing here, but we need to pay the charges. Some scalability options are also available with the basic. So the company who wants to do the testing, there is a testing team in the company, right? जो testing करती है. So testing team generally use the basic plan to test something if they have the lightweight application. But if we have some medium weight of application that we want to run or we want to test, then we can go with the standard plan as well. So medium size की applications वगैरह run करनी है, then the standard option is there. You can use it for testing, you can use it for production also. अगर बहुत हल्की फुल्की medium size की application है तो. Then the premium option comes. So premium option is very costly. It is not uh, less in terms of pricing. It is very costly. And here you have to pay the dedicated cost of something. But here the latency will be very optimal. Speed बहुत अच्छी आती है. If you are running any site over here, the speed will be very great. Speed बहुत अच्छी मिलेगी आपको. Redundancy facilities will be available. Availability zones facility will be available. Scalability will be available, and there is no time limit. Plus support भी बहुत अच्छा है इसका. So this one is used in the production scenario. If we are running any site directly in the environment, मान लो मैं कोई application directly run कर रहा हूँ, so I will go with the premium. For example, मेरी application है flipkart.com. I want to run it for the customers. I want to make it live. So I can go with the premium, but I have to pay the charges. Then comes the isolated. In the isolated, the Microsoft is going to give you one dedicated server for your company only. मतलब backend में जो hardware होता है ना data center में, that hardware will only be reserved for you. No other company will share that particular hardware. It will only be reserved for you. They will dedicatedly give it to you, and you have to pay the money for the entire hardware every month, plus the hosting charges of your site that you are running. So this is very costly, and speed is good. Premium speed is also good. What is the difference actually? In the isolated, you are getting a dedicated hardware for your company only. So you have to pay a lot of cost here. Company use the isolated if they have some compliance problems. Like there is some, let's say, government site. There is some government websites or some government application they don't want to run it on the shared hardware, so they can definitely go with the isolated one. या तो अपना खुद का हार्डवेयर लगा लो या तो आइसोलेटेड पे चले जाओ. So Microsoft will give you the contracted hardware for your company only. So that is isolated. So यहाँ पे आप ही के लिए सपोर्ट होगा, आप ही के लिए स्पीड होगी, सब कुछ आपके लिए होगा. Whatever configuration you want to amend, you can, but you have to pay a lot of money. So you have to recall these names. You have to remember these names for your interview. Now here you can choose it accordingly. Every plan have some hardware configuration, plus it has the cost associated. So cost you can see here. Free is free. There is no charges. See, 0 rupees per month. In the shared, you can expect around 789 rupees per month if you will run it for 60 minutes in a day. तो दोनों में 60 minutes का limit है. In the basic, there is no limit. And here the charges, if you run the site for entire 30 days, it can be 5,708 rupees. Then in the standard, this is the pricing. There is no limit. In the premium, the charges are going to be this one. So it is 10,000 something around the charges are going to be. And premium also has some category. Premium V3, Premium V2, kind of this P0 V3, P0 V1, P1 V3. So price का ही फर्क है इसमें. And some configuration limits also, like here you get 16 GB of RAM, 2 CPU. Here you get 8 GB of RAM, 2 CPU. And in the isolated, you have to pay the very high cost, like 35,000 something per month. So it is costly. Here you get the hardware dedicatedly for you only, and this is the single hardware that you will get. So extra configurations are not available here. See, because single hardware में तो फिर speed भी अच्छी मिल जाएगी आपको. For now, I will choose the free, but I will also show you how to upgrade the plans, because in company you will also be responsible for upgrading the plans, for setting up the auto scaling. So I will tell you all those options. That is why I am choosing the free. In the free, as I told you, most of the features are not available. Redundancies are not supported. Availability zones are not supported. Scaling is not supported. So we have to upgrade this for further practicals. But for now, I will choose free. इसके बाद मैं इसको अपग्रेड करना सब प्रैक्टिकली दिखाऊंगा आपको. So that kind of ticket also comes. Like if developer feels that my testing is not happening because this particular plan is not right for me, he will also send you the request for upgradation. So you will have to do that as well. So upgradation, downgrade, upgrade, setting up the redundancy, auto optimization, troubleshooting. If it is not working, that is your responsibility in the app service. So I will choose free for now. Plans वगैरह देखने, you can just click. And now as you choose the free, you can see the redundancy option is not there. देखो नहीं हो रहा ना redundancy अब. But if you choose the premium one, you get the redundancy. See, and if you choose the standard also, this is not available. So redundancy is available with the premium and with the isolated also. I will go with the free for now. ये सब हम बाद में देखेंगे. Now click on next. Now you get the option of database. जैसे मैंने बताया था, there is a database option as well. So if you want to connect it with the backend database like SQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, etc., then you can create a database. But database option is also not available with the free plan. देखो, इसके साथ ये भी नहीं है. मतलब फ्री प्लान वालों को नहीं देंगे हम, because this is Microsoft. So if you may have chosen the premium option, then you will get this option to create the database. तो ये SQL वगैरह बनाने के options देगा. That we will discuss later on. For now, I will leave it. Click on next. Now there is CI/CD option. CI/CD is basically related to the DevOps. So if you have the code in the Git, ये सब हम बाद में सीखेंगे in the DevOps. If you have the code in the Git and you want to automatically send it to the web app platform, you don't want to involve manually. You have the code in your laptop in the Git. You want to automatically pull it to the web app using the CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment. Then you can go with this option. But this option is not for the integration with the basic. If you go with the enable option, some options will be highlighted, but not all the options are there. But still you would be able to do the practical using the basic feature. मतलब ये free वाला लेके आप ये वाला practical तो कर सकते हो. दिस इज डूएबल. सारे ऑप्शंस नहीं आएंगे बट स्टिल वी कैन सेट अप द CI/CD pipeline from here. So CI/CD is a topic for future when we will start the DevOps. For now, I will keep it disabled. So these all options are related to the CI/CD workflow. Just click on next. Now, how do you want to give the access? मतलब जो साइट इस पे चलेगी, the application, the website, from which location you want to access it. So if you will keep it on, so public access will be enabled. If you will keep it off, then only in your organization from your network the site can be accessible. Site is not accessible from the outside location over the internet. So if you will keep it off, only in your LAN the site will be accessible. If you will keep it on, then from any location using the internet the site can be accessible. So click on next. Then if you want to set up the monitoring, so you can just set it up from here. Monitoring is a topic that we will discuss later on. Some monitoring we will see in the app service practical as well. कुछ monitoring हम इसमें cover करेंगे. But there are some special topics like application insights and log analytics workspace. So that we will discuss in the future. For now, I don't want to enable this monitoring application insight. So click on no. क्योंकि ये बाद में देखेंगे हम. So click on no. Logging, log streams that I will discuss during this web app. मतलब logs वगैरह कैसे check करते हैं वो सब मैं बताऊंगा. For now, keep it no. Click on next. If you want to add the tags, do it. Otherwise, next and review plus create. Now it will be created within few seconds. छोटा सा है. Yes, पूजा.
सर अभी डेवॉप्स मतलब डेवॉप्स के लिए अभी फिर भी कितना टाइम है?
स्टार्ट होने में नेक्स्ट
हाँ,
मंथ स्टार्ट हो जाएगा.
ओके सर।
नेक्स्ट मंथ से पहले भी हो सकता है, मतलब इस मंथ भी हो सकता है, मंथ एंड में, अप्रैल वाले.
ओके ओके।
अदरवाइज अप्रैल के बाद मई में तो स्टार्ट हो ही जाएगा. वैसे इससे पहले ही हो जाएगा, अप्रैल
और
एंड तक स्टार्ट हो जाएगा.
डेवॉप्स में कितने सेशन रहेंगे सर, मतलब अप्रोक्स?
सेशन का पता नहीं. इट विल टेक, मतलब 1-1.5 महीना लगेगा.
ओके सर।
यस निरंजन.
सर मैं पूछ रहा था, मैं जब Naukri.com में ये अपलोड करूंगा, अपना अपडेट करूंगा क्लाउड के बेसिस पे, तो कॉल आएगा? कॉल आते हैं
ये
सर?
हाँ, आते 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 हैं
मतलब
कॉल.
अभी क्योंकि ना मार्केट बहुत खराब है, इसमें कुछ भी कॉल नहीं आ रहा है।
मार्केट खराब है?
कॉल उल तो नहीं आ रहे हैं अभी। दो
ये
साल
खबर ये खबर कहाँ से आती है मार्केट खराब है?
ये तो सभी लोग बोलते हैं, जितना भी साथ में खबर है, तो भाई मार्केट खराब
वो उसकी होगी ना, सपोर्ट की. मार्केट तो
है।
वैसे खराब ही है. दिस इज राइट. मतलब कंपटीशन टफ है. सो प्रिपेयर अकॉर्डिंगली.
जब
मार्केट
मैं
का कोई भरोसा नहीं.
जब मैं करियर स्टार्ट नहीं किया था किस वॉइस में, तो बहुत
हम्म.
कॉल आते थे जब मैं पढ़ ही रहा था। अभी बट अभी उस टाइप से कोई कॉल ही नहीं आता।
हाँ, वो ऐसा ही होता है जब किसी पर्टिकुलर चीज के बारे में लोग जान जाते हैं ना, तो उसके कॉम्पिटिशन्स बढ़ जाते हैं. अभी फ्यूचर में, अभी जैसे एआई है, अब एआई सारे लोग सीख जाएंगे तो एआई का भी मार्केट ऐसे ही हो जाएगा कि एक स्टेबल मार्केट है. फिर उसके बाद कोई नई टेक्नोलॉजी आ जाएगी, उसकी डिमांड बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगी, तो पुश पे. तो मार्केट खराब तो नहीं कहूँगा मैं, बट यस देयर इज अ कंपटीशन, सो यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर वेल. कंपटीशन
बट
बहुत है. ऐसा नहीं है
बट
कि
सर
कोरोना वाला सीन नहीं है कि ऐसी आंख बंद करके हायरिंग हो जाएगी. अब नहीं होगी. ठीक है.
बट है ना, अभी एआई से लेके बहुत लोग डरे हुए हैं, क्या है नहीं है।
वो लोग डर रहे हैं जिसको एआई के बारे में पता नहीं है बेसिकली. इफ समवन नोज अबाउट एआई, सो उसको डर नहीं है. हाँ,
नहीं
जिनको डर है वो लोग एआई के बारे में नहीं जानते, तो डेफिनेटली उनका डर ठीक भी है.
नहीं, जैसे है ना, मेरे मैनेजर लोग बोलते हैं एआई आ जाए तो सपोर्ट का ये खत्म हो जाए, सपोर्ट का
हाँ, ये सच है, ये सच है. एआई आने से डेस्कटॉप सपोर्ट की और जो एजेंट्स होते हैं लाइक सर्विस डेस्क, हेल्प डेस्क एजेंट, इनकी जॉब बिल्कुल खत्म हो जाएगी, क्योंकि वो चैटबॉट हैंडल कर लेगा। खत्म हो चुकी है, कम भी हो गई है, बहुत कम हो गई है डेस्कटॉप सपोर्ट की जॉब एज कंपैरिजन टू अदर। अभी देखना तुम, डेस्कटॉप की कॉल्स रेशियो भी कम हो गए हैं, और कंपनी अब इतना सैलरी दे के भी राजी नहीं हो रही है इस वजह से। दिस इज ट्रू। जितनी भी सपोर्ट जॉब्स है वेयर द मैनुअल इंटरवेंशन इज नॉट, मतलब दिमाग नहीं लगता जहाँ पे ज्यादा। if I raise the complaint to you, I am facing the slowness in my laptop. There will be chatbot. User सीधा chatbot पे डालेगा facing slowness in the laptop. The integration will happen along with the laptop. मतलब एक agent install रहेगा laptop में, that will happen with the AI. And what AI will do, AI will scan the laptop, और जो आप लोग करते हो ना preface में जाके delete everything, temp delete, C drive optimize, so that will happen through the automation with the AI chatbot. So user can do it themselves. So desktop engineers will not be required in that case. So yes, this is possible. This is happening with most of the company, most of the biggest companies in the US market, in the product based organizations, they have already implemented the chatbot. इसलिए मैं बता रहा हूँ ये चैटबॉट इम्प्लीमेंट हो चुका है। इवन इन द एज्योर ऑल्सो देयर इज अ को पायलट। मतलब जो छोटे मोटे काम होते हैं ना एज्योर में, लाइक यूजर क्रिएशन, द सर्वर ऑप्टिमाइजेशन, दैट कैन हैपन यूजिंग द इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ को पायलट। वो को पायलट दिख रहा है स्क्रीन के ऊपर, उस पर जाके सीधा इंटीग्रेट करके जो छोटे मोटे इश्यूज होते हैं, लाइक समवन इज फेसिंग द रिमोट एक्सेस इशू विद द वीएम इन एज्योर, इट इज नाउ पॉसिबल विद द को पायलट टू ट्रबल शूट। बट अभी को पायलट में इतना एडवांस नहीं हुआ है एज्योर के अंदर, बट इन फ्यूचर जो बहुत बहुत ही बेसिक लेवल के इश्यूज है, दैट इज that you can solve using the copilot feature and with the chat gpt also, उसके भी bots integrate हो रहे हैं। but in the desktop these kind of bots have already been implemented with most of the company. so yes, support की job तो खत्म हो जाएगी, that is I am also very much sure about it. तो ये सब जॉब खत्म, जो डेस्क जॉब्स है that is going to get diminished in the future.
हेलो
so
सर।
this yes
हेलो
Binit.
सर।
हेलो
सर
yes yes
सर
बोलो।
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है, सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है, जैसे हम क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग में एआई का क्या क्या यूज़ करेंगे सर?
किसका?
क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग में ना सर, क्लाउड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में हम एआई को कैसे यूज़ करेंगे सर?
इसमें अभी तो फिलहाल एआई आप लोगों के लेवल पे कोई यूज नहीं होने वाला। फ्यूचर
जी
में यस यूज होता है पावर शेल के थ्रू, फिर आपको उसमें ऑटोमेशन इंप्लीमेंट करना पड़ता है। जो डेवऑप्स है, डेवऑप्स के साथ एआई इंटीग्रेट करना पड़ेगा, बट अभी के लेवल पे नहीं है। इन द एजे 104 लेवल इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, और वो है भी नहीं उसमें एआई।
यानी यानी हमारा सारा काम डेवलप के थ्रू हो जाएगा, जो भी
हाँ,
हमारा एआई
आपका
से
काम हो
रिलेटेड
जाएगा,
होगा।
आपका काम मैनुअल प्लस स्क्रिप्ट्स के थ्रू या डेवऑप्स के थ्रू हो जाएगा। तो एआई
हम्म,
वाला कॉन्सेप्ट अभी आप लोगों के इसमें नहीं है। जो बड़े बड़े केसेस होते हैं, आई पे डेटाबेस का काम आ जाता है, आरपीए का काम आ जाता है इन एज्योर, आईओटी कॉन्सेप्ट्स, क्यूबरनेटी कॉन्सेप्ट्स, वहां पे एआई का यूज किया जा सकता है, बट ये वाले में नहीं जो अभी आप सीख रहे हो।
जी सर।
ठीक है।
हेलो सर।
यस।
सर अभी 1-2 महीने में अगर स्विच करने का अगर देखेंगे तो फिर मार्केट कैसा है सर?
वो एक बार एचआर से पता करो मार्केट कैसा है, वो मैं बता नहीं सकता आपको, क्योंकि मेरा मतलब मेरे लेवल पे जो मैं सर्च करूंगा उस लेवल के हिसाब से मैं एनालाइज करके ये नहीं बोल सकता कि मार्केट की क्या कंडीशन है या क्या है। जॉब्स है, मतलब इफ आई सर्च समथिंग तो मिलने लग जाती है, बट
हाँ,
आप लोगों के लेवल पे एक बार आप प्लेसमेंट टीम से बात करो कि कब क्या कंडीशन है। वैसे जॉब्स रहती है हमेशा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, मार्केट वाला सीन
वो
नहीं है।
तो है सर।
ठीक
अभी
है।
कैसा है, मेरे कंपनी में 2 महीने का नोटिस पीरियड है।
हम्म।
तो 2 महीने कौन सी कंपनी तो वेट नहीं करेगी सर। तो अभी एचआर से मैंने बात किया था इस टॉपिक पे।
हम्म।
तो उनका कहना था कि पहले जॉब ले लो फिर रिजाइन डालो, बट 2 महीने कंपनी तो रुकनी चाहिए सर।
या 3-3 महीने रुकती है, तुम 2 महीने की बात कर रहे हो? आईटी कंपनी 3-3 महीने के नोटिस सर्व करवाती है, रुकेगी वो? पहले जॉब तो लो फिर रुकेगी।
ठीक
वो
है
सब
सर,
मैं
ओके।
बाद में बताऊंगा, इस पे डिस्कशन करूंगा मैं इन टॉपिक्स पे। ओके।
हाँ हाँ।
देयर विल बी सम सेशन वेयर आई विल डिस्कस अबाउट दिस। सो नाउ, सो दिस डिप्लॉयमेंट इज कंप्लीटेड, ऐप सर्विस डिप्लॉय हो गई है। इफ यू गो टू द ऐप सर्विस नाउ, so you can see our app store 01 is available, and this app service is connected on a app service plan. Every app service will be connected on a plan. Plan means hardware, एंड ऑन ए सिंगल ऐप सर्विस प्लान यू कैन रन मल्टीपल ऐप सर्विसेज। मतलब एक सिंगल प्लान के ऊपर आप मल्टीपल ऐप सर्विस चला सकते हो, मतलब एक हार्डवेयर पे मल्टीपल ऐप सर्विस चला सकते हो। राइट नाउ आई हैव डन ओनली फॉर वन। आपको लगता है दो तीन और चलाने हैं यूजिंग द सेम हार्डवेयर, यूजिंग द शेयर्ड हार्डवेयर, दैट इज ऑल्सो पॉसिबल। इफ यू क्लिक ऑन दिस, so you will see the detail about it. Like the main details are the domain. So every app service will have a default domain like this. You might have noticed this during the creation, appstore01.azurewebsites.net. If you click on this, so it will load one of the URL, and right now it is blank. There is nothing. Your web app is running, but we are waiting for your content. Content means code. There is nothing running on this platform. If you are able to access this page, it means everything is okay in terms of connection. अगर ये पेज एक्सेस हो जा रहा है, it is in HTTPS. See, Microsoft is giving this page in the HTTPS. So if you are able to load this page, it means the platform is okay. There is no issue with the app service platform. Whatever code you will run here, that will be visible. मतलब कोई भी एप्लीकेशन चलाओगे इस जगह पे, तो that should be available. कोई भी वेबसाइट चलाओगे, that should be available. But right now there is nothing. We have just accessed this particular page. So we will upload something. There is app service plan. So app service plan, you can see I have created one ASP-01 plan, and if you click on this, so it will redirect you to your app service plan, and you can see the details about it. We have chosen the free plan. So free plan is called F1. You can change it anytime. It is running on the window platform, and if you want to change the plan, you can change from here as well. That I will discuss later on. In the app service, another main option is the operating system, that it is unchangeable. You cannot switch from Windows to Linux. If you have chosen something, you will have to stick with it. If you want to use the Linux, you have to create a new app service plan. So you have chosen the code option, the runtime stack you have chosen .NET version 8, ये सब choose किया था हमने. Then there is a custom domain. Custom domain basically means right now you are using a free default domain. For this, Microsoft is not charging you anything. But if you have your own custom domain, for example, wipro.com, you want to run this site like appstore01.wipro.com. So you can add a custom domain as well. Then your site will be running on your own URL, not on this. इस पे नहीं चलेगा फिर. Your site will be running on your own URL. So if you have that, you can add it here. So these are some of the options. Because it is a server in the backend, ये server ही होता है. So that is why there will be IP addresses in the backend hardware. So you can see the IPs. These are the server IPs. See, under the networking, you can see the virtual IP, outbound IP. Outbound IP means the server want to connect with any site, so it will be using these IPs in the backend. If anyone sends the request to the server, it uses this pool of IP address to take the request, and this is the IP of the backend hardware. So this is up to Microsoft what IP they want to give. On the left side, there are some options which is very common. ये सब तो आते ही आते हैं. There is one log stream option that I will discuss. We will see this practical. In the deployment, there are options. We will understand both of them. The very first option is deployment slot. So this I will discuss practically. And there is one option, deployment center. Deployment center means after the app service is created, then how do you want to run the code? मतलब इस पे जो कोड चलाओगे आप, how do you want to run it? So here you can just choose the platform. Where is your code? So code is generally with the developer. Code developer के पास होता है. And in the DevOps we will discuss about one topic which is called Git and GitHub. ये सब टॉपिक हम डेवऑप्स में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो डेवलपर डोंट कीप द कोड इन द फाइल. डेवलपर फाइल में कोड नहीं रखते. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि आप सोच रहे हो देयर विल बी अ नोटपैड फाइल, डेवलपर विल सेव द कोड ओवर देयर. नो, द कोड्स विल बी सेव्ड इन द रिपोजिटरी कॉल्ड गिट. गिट वगैरह में कोड होते हैं. द कोड्स विल बी देयर इन द गिटहब, कोड विल बी देयर इन द बिटबकेट, कोड विल बी देयर इन द एजोर रेपोस. So these are the platform where the developer keeps their code. Code यहाँ पे रखे जाते हैं. And from any one of these platform, the code will be uploaded to the app service. कोड को यहाँ से उठा के यहाँ पे लेके आना पड़ता है. So for that we can use the deployment center. For example, if my code is available in the GitHub, so I will choose GitHub. There will be user ID and password of the GitHub portal. I need to click on authorize, then I need to enter the user ID password like this here. Then we can just click on sign in button, and accordingly it will connect me with the GitHub platform from where we can just get the codes. So codes are not in the local laptops, it is there in some platform. So in our DevOps series in the future, we will be talking about GitHub, we will be talking about Azure Repos. ये दो चीजें हम practically देखेंगे. This is the part of our syllabus, GitHub and Azure Repos. Bitbucket is also one of the tool like GitHub, which is used by the developer to save the code. Local Git basically means they will install the Git in the laptop and they will keep the code. So every developer has their own strategy. Every company have their own method to work. In the company, mostly the GitHub is on the number 1 and Azure Repos is used as number 2. Then फिर Bitbucket आ जाता है number 3 पे. So this is the ranking of using the tool. And if you know any one of the tool, you would be able to manage another platform. मतलब एक टूल आ गया तो सारे टूल आप मैनेज कर लोगे. इट्स क्वाइट इजी. लाइक इफ यू नो गिटहब यू विल बी एबल टू मैनेज द एजोर रेपोस. तो ये सब एक दूसरे से मिलते जुलते हैं. ओनली देयर इंटरफेस चेंजेस विल बी देयर. सो वी विल सी दिस टूल इन द फ्यूचर. हम इसको प्रैक्टिकली भी देखेंगे. So if your code is available in any one of the platform, you can choose it accordingly. You can authorize, enter the username and password, then accordingly you can pull the code. So वही सब choose करना पड़ता है. Like where is the subscription? Identity means the user ID password कौन बंदा upload करेगा. So ये सब चीजें हैं. That I will discuss later on. अभी नहीं. ये सब मैं DevOps के टाइम पे बताऊंगा आपको. This topic will again be discussed in the future. मतलब ये और भी डिटेल में आगे डिस्कस होगा. Then there is deployment slots. तो ये तो मैं कवर करूंगा आपका in this topic itself. Then in the setting there are some environmental variables. These are related to the developer. ये सब developer से related है. You will not be doing anything over here. In the configuration, it will show you the details about the application. Here you can change the stack. See, right now it is .NET. So from .NET, if you want to change to Python, just choose the Python and accordingly just save. So anytime if you want to change the runtime stack, you can change. If you want to upgrade the version, for example, we have chosen .NET 8 LTS. If I want to go to .NET 9 STS, I can just choose and I can save. This kind of request will come to us. ये आएगी हमारे पास. Then there are some option related to the security. ये सब security के option है. There is one option SCM basic auth publishing. So there is one error which will come sometime, and that error will have this information that please enable the SCM basic auth. So you have to enable it. तब आपको enable करना पड़ता है. So ये सब मैं discuss करूँगा. There is path mapping. This is the work again for the developer. Default documents are there. ये जो pages आप save करते हो ना, default.html, default.asp, why we always save it in the default.html name? Why I don't keep abc.html? Because the entries are already there in the default document series. That is why I always choose default.html. If I want to use some other name, for example, I want to use abc.html while saving my code, so I have to add the entry here. यहाँ पे मुझे एंट्री डालनी पड़ेगी. Otherwise the default names for save would be index.html, default.html. तो इस तरीके से default नाम होते हैं which is available here. That is why I always choose these names. तो ये IIS में भी ऐसे ही होता है. It is here as well, and in the IIS server also same kind of entries are available already. If you open the IIS console, go to the default directory, then you will get these options. So if you want to add your own name, create a new document. फिर आप अपने हिसाब से like amit.html, amit.html. So you can just create that entry. Then you would be able to save the file with that name as well. So these are some standards. So developer job again, path mapping will be done by the developer. वो सब storage वगैरह mount करना ये सब. Error pages मैंने बताए थे. There are some error pages information. If site is not accessible, and some error code comes. Application gateway में बताया था मैंने. So these are the pages. So again comes the authentication option. Authentication basically means if you want to connect it with the Azure AD. ये सब बात का topic है. Backups we will discuss in future. Custom domain I will discuss. नेटवर्किंग वी विल डिस्कस, ये सब हम करेंगे, मतलब ये आज तो नहीं कर पाएंगे, टुमारो वी विल कंप्लीट इट, क्योंकि 9 बजे मेरा एक बैच है. सो स्केल अप स्केल डाउन कैसे करते हैं, दिस प्रैक्टिकल ऑल्सो वी हैव टू डिस्कस. देन दीज टॉपिक्स आर रिलेटेड टू द सॉल्यूशन आर्किटेक्ट, सो वी विल नॉट डू दिस. वेब जॉब्स, MySQL सर्विस कनेक्टर, we will not going to discuss this. Load testing is also not the part of our curriculum. App service plan we will discuss. Then this option, the app service editor, we are going to discuss. Then again these options are related to the developer, ये सब हमारे काम का नहीं है, so we will not do this. Monitoring we will see in the future, ये सब आएगा. Logs we will see. Logs is part of our app service practical, so we will discuss that. So tomorrow I will cover this complete topic. This has a lot of practical. Today we just discuss how we can create the app service, and we have discussed some options which are available in the app service. Yes, Samshad and Pooja.
सर बैकएंड को कैसे कॉन्फ़िगर करते हैं इसमें, बैकएंड जो डेटा होता है, जैसे कि
वो डेटाबेस ऐड करना पड़ेगा.
अच्छा, इसमें डेटाबेस अलग सेट करना पड़ता है, जैसे कि
हाँ.
चीज ऐड कर दिए जो
अगर
बैकएंड।
अगर एपीआई है बैकएंड का, तब तो एपीआई ऐड कर सकते हो तुम इसमें, ठीक है. बट अगर एपीआई नहीं है, अगर अगर तुम्हारा वो बैकएंड भी एज्योर के ऊपर चल रहा है, तो उसका डेटाबेस सर्वर उस पर ऐड करना पड़ेगा. और अगर वो डेटाबेस ऑन प्रेम पे है तो भी उसको फिर ऐड कर सकते हो. और अगर एपीआई है किसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे चल रहा है, इफ यू हैव द एपीआई, तो एपीआई इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हो यहाँ पे.
पेज में इंटीग्रेट कर देंगे, जैसे पेज को इंटीग्रेट करते हैं।
राइट.
हेलो
ठीक है
हेलो
ठीक है. I can
हेलो
only take one question now because it's already 9, तो एक दूसरा बैच वेट कर रहा है, तो
ठीक है
एक
सर,
बताओ
कल
जल्दी.
पूछेंगे।
सर एक आध सैंपल टिकट दिखा सकते हैं क्या, लाइक कल भी दिखाए तो चलेगा, बट क्लास के इनिशियल में ही, कि टिकट कैसा रहता है इसका जो हम करेंगे वर्क.
मैं टिकट्स निकाल लूंगा, डेमो. जो जो टिकट्स मतलब आप लोगों के लेवल की मेरे पास आएगी, तो मैं निकाल के फिर दिखा दूंगा आप लोगों को.
ओके सर.
ठीक है.
हेलो
ओके.
सर, मेरा एज्योर पोर्टल लॉगिन नहीं हो रहा है.
लॉगिन नहीं हो रहा है, एरर क्या आ रहा है?
एरर सर वो एक सेकंड. ये देख रहा है, चेक विथ योर बैंक कुड नॉट ऑथराइज दिस पेमेंट मेथड.
वो तो तुम्हारा पोर्टल बना ही नहीं होगा ना अभी.
नहीं सर, नहीं बना नहीं है सर, वो कैसे होगा ये एरर.
अब पोर्टल तो क्रिएट कर नहीं पा रहे हो, ऐसा बोल रहे हो ना?
हाँ हाँ.
ये मैं कल देखता हूँ, फिर अभी तो मेरा टाइम हो गया दूसरे बैच का. लेट मी डिस्कस दिस टुमारो. ओके.
अ, ठीक है सर, एक बार रिमोट ले लीजिएगा मेरा. मैं सर
ठीक
कई
है.
दिनों से परेशान हूँ सर, नहीं पा रहा है मेरा.
तुमने अभी तक पोर्टल ही नहीं बनाया, इतना टाइम हो गया.
नहीं,
जनवरी, फरवरी, मार्च. कोई नहीं, कल देखते हैं. चलो. सो लेट्स कनेक्ट टुमारो इवनिंग देन. मतलब 9 बजे अपना स्टार्ट करते हैं कल, एंड वी विल कंप्लीट दिस टॉपिक. टाइम बचेगा तो कल ट्रैफिक मैनेजर भी स्टार्ट करेंगे. सो फॉर नाउ लेट्स रैप अप दिस कॉल फॉर द डे. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर टाइमिंग. हैव अ गुड नाइट. बाय.